This is a story about tradition.
The tradition of Cal baseball, from my perspective, is how camaraderie and how our friendship has stayed after the game is over for both of us, meaning myself and some of the players. We still stay in contact. We still check each other out to see how you're doing.
This is a story about family.
And I say this to my team yearly. If we have the program that we want, where you're as close as brothers, 14, 15 of your teammates here are going to be at your wedding. We may have the godfather of your son in this locker room. You can pick up a phone at any point in time in the course of your life and call one of your teammates, and you guys will interact as if you were together yesterday.
This is even a Cinderella story.
California advances to the College World Series for the first time since 1992, and the sixth time in program history. Benny the Jet Springer, do you believe it?
This is a story about Cal baseball. The Cal baseball team was established in 1892. The Golden Bears were College World Series champions in 1947 and 1957. The team also made it to the College World Series in 1980, 1988, and 1992. But perhaps no trip to Omaha was as special as last year's trip by the 2011 team. Here are some memories from players and coaches on these great teams.
We finally ended up going back and going to the World Series in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Went to Kalamazoo, Michigan, and a 2 out of 3 series. And we beat Yale two games. One of them was fairly close. The other was 17 to something. We beat them. And I found out from Nino Barnese, who was one of our pitchers, that the first baseman for Yale was George Bush. That was really the highlight of my career, you might say. I'm lucky enough to get to go to Cal and to play professional baseball, and you made a little money in the minors, meal money, $5 or something for a week.
Well, that was an interesting team. They didn't really gel until at the end of the season. About 2/3 of the way through that season, they weren't doing that well. And then I don't know what happened. It's just if there was some team meeting or some epiphany or something, but all of a sudden they just started to beat everybody. And they had to beat SC at Bovard twice, and they did, which you didn't do that very often. And so then they had to play Oregon in the regionals and Pepperdine in the regionals just to get to Omaha. And then as soon as they got to Omaha, they went through Omaha like a hot knife through butter.
Well, Earl had tremendous athletic skills. Clearly, anybody that is playing basketball and then comes out for baseball in the middle of the season and picks it up and really became a very important part of that team. I think what Earl brought was the idea that you have to work as a close-knit team. That was from basketball, and he brought that over. But Earl's skills were really pretty amazing.
The basketball players played a tremendous role in doing it. When I talked about them harassing USC, that was the team we had to beat. They were out there. They filled that stadium, talked about those guys so bad. And then in the final game, it was won by a basketball pitcher. So those are wonderful experiences for me. But I owe so very much to the university. I owe so very much to the baseball program.
Well, since I was on the freshman team, I remember really being inspired by the fact that the varsity was just winning all these games, and they had great pitching and great hitting, of course, all the necessary components to have a great baseball team. So it was the inspiration of that. And then when our season was over and the varsity went on to the postseason play, and then on to Omaha, to Rosenblatt Stadium to win the World Series, it was really something to be proud of, that I could associate myself with.
Comes 2-2 to the plate. Breckenridge on the ground to third. Pagliarulo can't handle it. They go to Pagliarulo. He hit once in the helmet. Gets up. He will be awarded home plate as the ball goes into the dugout. And the California Golden Bears have come from behind to defeat the Miami Hurricanes, and they will move into action Thursday night in the 1980 College Baseball World Series. Will Pagliarulo.
So, what was your most memorable moment being at Cal?
It definitely had to be when we were down in the Midwest Regional Championships. We were coming out of the losers bracket, and we made it to the championship game where we had to defeat UNLV 2 games, and we did it. And I tell you that we erupted kind of like the way you guys erupted. I mean, it just reminded me when you guys had clinched, and I saw you guys running on the field. It was like a deja vu moment for me. You know, it was the greatest thing.
5-run lead over Florida after 2 innings with the help of this double off the wall by Derek Stark, scoring Darren Lewis and Bart Fretz.
Well, I remember really all the good times. You know, I remember going to the College World Series, you know, playing with a bunch of great guys, and having the experience of playing baseball and going to such a great university. And so that really taught me a lot as far as how to deal with, you know, things as I moved out of, you know, playing college baseball and moving into the pro ranks. Just the discipline that we had to have to get through the academic and sport really helped me when I moved on.
But that's typical John Zuber pitching. He's had one rough outing, and that was against Arizona State way back when. But other than that, every ball game, he'll give up a few here and there, but always seems to get it done in the clutch for us.
The Baseball Almanac lists 55 Cal baseball players who have made it to the major leagues. There are 11 active players in the majors today. But whether a player makes it to the big leagues or not, playing baseball at Cal provides a lifetime of friendships and memories.
What I remember most about playing baseball at Cal probably really was the competition. I think you know, going down to Stanford and facing Jack McDowell on a Friday, going down to Los Angeles, facing the Bruins, playing against Todd Zeal, playing against Shane Mack, then going over to USC, playing against Jack Del Rio and Randy Johnson, and going into Arizona State, playing against Barry Bonds, Oda B. McDowell. I mean, those are the things that really stand out to me. You know, all those players were future Cy Young Award winners or MVPs in Major League Baseball or perennial All-Stars.
I've been doing baseball since I can ever remember, and I'm one of those guys that's been fortunate enough to live my life in the game of baseball. Played it, coached it, now I'm scouting. I essentially feel like I've never really worked. My son asked me at one point a few years ago when I might retire, and I said, why would I retire? I just keep doing what I'm doing now.
I think back at my team, and of the 9 starters on my team, 1 became an NFL quarterback, 2 played professional baseball, 1 made it to the major leagues and pitched for over 15 years. 4 are now practicing attorneys. 1's a successful contractor. 1's a successful pharmacist. And, you know, I'm not going to say it was Cal baseball. It was the only thing that caused that success, but I think it did have a lot to do with it.
My freshman roommate and best friend, Preston Sharp, is, you know, he came from Chico High, and we met at the orientation, and it's just, you know, we've been friends ever since. And, you know, growing up together, basically, and going through the years together and you know, sharing experiences. I think that, you know, Preston and I have been, you know, been through it all together. So it, you know, he's the one guy that always will stick out for me in terms of my Cal baseball teammates.
Throughout the years, there have been 3 father-son combinations to play for Cal.
Hey, Oz, how does it feel to have made history at Cal? We're one of 3 combos of father and sons to have played at Cal. And I believe we're the first to have ever both have played in College World Series. What do you think of that?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, you're second generation coming around and finally getting a chance to play at Cal, you know. It's a pretty cool experience, but playing with BJ and Knapp, you know, I got to play with all 3 of the sons of second generation, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We actually came when he was about 10 or 11, and we took a picture of him sitting in the dugout. That is still on his bedroom wall today. So I think there was a long time where he knew he wanted to come here, and to get the offer and the opportunity to come here was a dream come true for me as a father, and certainly for us as a family perspective.
Growing up, I always thought I had a choice of where I was going to go to school, but ultimately it was just planted in my mind from the day I was born that I was going to be a Bear. And it was almost subconsciously I knew that at some point I was going to play baseball here, and I think that's 100% because of my father, and then his father went here too, and I'm a 3rd generation UC Berkeley student.
The Cal baseball family may be best personified by the team's involvement in the Jog for Jill Cancer Walk in 2010. The entire team raised money for cancer research and to honor Tony Renda's father, Frank, who had died earlier that year from cancer.
To give you a sense of what a real family this baseball team is, when Cal supported Jog for Jill, which is a fundraiser to support lung cancer, which is the disease that took my husband's life, we got very involved with Jog for Jill and put together a team, and the whole family was there, and we rallied all of our friends and got a lot of support. But unbeknownst to me, the team also was rallying for the cause, and led by the coaches, and there was not one player that did not show up for the Jog for Jill event and walk side by side with Tony and the Renda family on that day. I had no idea they were coming, and when I parked my car and rounded the hill and came over the top of the Golden Gate Park where everybody was assembled and saw every single one of the baseball players there with the coaches, I couldn't hold it in anymore. I started crying. I've never seen such a visible show of support and caring from so many young men. You talk about character and caring. This team is a family.
I think the biggest thing is just knowing that they've become a part of a community and that they've made connections for a lifetime, and that this community is led by such a fabulous man as Dave Esker, and he's a fabulous coach on the field, he's a fabulous man off the field, and a family man, and that's what I want my son to be.
I think anytime you have that landmark moment or that landmark achievement in your program, and no different than going through the experience as a program that we did last year, our program is different and will never be the same.
Trailing by 1. Game 7, winner go home. Brett comes set. Looks to third. The pitch. A base hit into right field. Coming in to score is Booker. Renda slips. He turns. He saves. And California wins it 9-8. I cannot believe it. I apologize, folks. I'm sure you didn't hear any of that. Devin Rodriguez. My voice is gone. I called 2 games yesterday. Singles on a 1-2 pitch into right field, and California advances. Unbelievable.
When you have that moment, it'll mark you forever, and in many ways it's gonna be for the better. I think our program as a program is stronger now, even behind the scenes, regardless of the events that happened last year, and I think internally we're stronger. I mean, just going through what we went through proved to everyone and ourselves of what this program is capable of, but you have to be willing to put in the time and the effort, and you have to care, and you have to have that passion, all the hallmarks of what the Cal baseball program and the University of California, Berkeley are all about.
He hung me a slider, and I pulled it in the 3-4 hole, and from there on it was just kind of slow motion. Like I was just running, and I like see Brad just like with his arms up in the air, and I like kind of turn around and hit first and just watch Tony just diving across home. It was the greatest feeling ever, just knowing that we had come back, and it was just kind of how our whole season had gone. We just always come back when no one expected us, and it was an amazing feeling.
I remember running down the third baseline, and our third base coach, Tony Arnrich, was yelling at me, hurry up, hurry up. And I dove across home plate, and it was just the best feeling of my life. When we won that game, I knew we were going to Omaha, and you know, there was no stopping us.
It was kind of all the feelings that we had throughout the whole process. You know, from September all the way through to that moment. It was just all our emotions just were kind of let out right then and there. And then finding out that we were going to be able to host a Super Regional in Santa Clara in front of our fans and our families, you know, it couldn't have been more of a dreamlike situation for us. And those 2 games are something I'm never going to forget. You know, being at the bottom of that dog pile, knowing that we were going to the College World Series and having everybody jump on me, and just everybody as a group just, you know, yelling and just being so pumped about going to the College World Series. You know, it still gives me goosebumps today, and it's, you know, it's something that we want to do more often going forward.
I would have to say my most lasting memory would be just the kind of the run we had at the end of the season last year, going up to the World Series. Just the walk-off win at Rice was just the most amazing feeling I've ever felt, and I know it's the same for all the other guys. Just that feeling of, oh my gosh, we did this, going to the Super Regional and then winning that, be able to dogpile on the mound and everything, and knowing we're going to the World Series, it was like nothing I've ever felt before.
Cal's run to the College World Series last year was truly something remarkable. I mean, it was an incredible experience just to start the season off without a team, and then to end the year in the College World Series was really special. I know that it was inspiring for me and a lot of my teammates as well. With the Cardinals, there were a lot of guys following the progress of the program and what was going on at Cal, and to see what you guys did last year and to make it all the way to Omaha was really cool and special, and I hope we can get back there this year.
I just think it's onward and upward for these guys. I mean, they're you know, you look at what they did last year with their backs against the wall was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. It's one of the, that's going to be a movie someday, no doubt about it in my mind. And I would say, instead of what I would try to tell them, if I had to give them any advice, maybe it would be, there's no pressure anymore. You know, it's just play baseball and enjoy yourself and be, you know, embrace the moment. I think that's what they did last year. And if they can not lose that feel, if the baseball program never loses that feel, you know, if we cherish the game that's currently going on, or the practice that's going on, or living in the moment like they did last year, because they didn't know if they were going to have a next season, you know. And I think that's the biggest piece of advice, the biggest thing that all of us should take away from this whole thing, is that you can't worry about next year because you don't know what's going to happen. You can only worry about right now, and they were a testament to that last season, and I hope they continue to do that this year.
The Cal story really wasn't unlike the Giants story. It was a team against all odds that people thought were underdogs, that didn't have a lot of chance to get to where they got. And I see a lot of common traits in the Cal baseball team of 2011 to the Giants that won the World Series in 2010, and that is guys that wouldn't say no, that wouldn't give up, passion, heart, and more heart. And so I loved watching them. I loved getting a feel for some of the personalities. Coach Esker and his staff were amazing. And then all that with the backdrop of the people that used to play Cal baseball and that are affiliated with the university that came forward as supporters and found a way to get the dollars and to make it happen to ensure Cal baseball's future out for many, many years. So for all that it's a wonderful story, and hats off to Cal baseball.
With the baseball program facing elimination as a sport in the fall of 2010, the Cal Baseball Foundation stepped to the plate and hit a financial home run, raising enough money to reinstate the program and paving the way for the future of Cal baseball.
You've learned that the support from the Cal alumni group was tremendous to save Cal baseball. And you're a part of it now, and what you're going to have to remember after you leave is to remain a part of this family and keep building upon that, because you're going to run into some of the guys that you played against and some of the guys that you played with in other aspects of your life as you go on. And those are the important parts that you need to go. But it's a definite family, and you got to learn how to deal with the family.
We love Cal baseball, we love the tradition, we love every bit of it, but we still have to do more, and we're going to work hard to do more so that Cal baseball lasts forever at the University of California, and we can all take pride in saying that we were a major contributor to making that happen, both monetarily and with our support. Cal baseball has to live forever.
To me, the future of Cal baseball, is on the rise and it's here to stay.
Cal baseball's back here at Evans Diamond. Thank God we made it. We'll take the Pac-12. I'm serious this time. Watch us take it. Raised enough money to not get cut. Thanks to the donors for saving our butts. Now let's see what will be the greatest team in history. California Cal baseball 2012. You went from Milano, Esker, and you. Thank you, alumni. I'm not gonna lie. Without all you guys, we couldn't have survived.